Imagine stepping into a classic horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, creaking floorboards, flickering lights, maybe a storm raging outside. And then you get that chilling feeling that one of your friends, well, maybe they're not quite who you thought they were.
Yeah, maybe they're the monster.
Exactly. That's pretty much the vibe of Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's this fantastic board game that just nails that emergent horror storytelling. Been doing it for, what, nearly 2 decades now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So today, we're doing a deep dive. We're going to explore those haunted halls, really get into the mechanics, look at how it's evolved, and figure out why this game keeps delivering these unforgettable player-driven stories right there on your tabletop.
And what's so cool about Betrayal, I think, is how it flips the script on storytelling. It's not just feeding you a story.
Right.
It gives you the pieces, the horror tropes, but then it hands the reins over to you, the players. It's like a storytelling engine, really. You're kind of co-authoring this unique, sometimes scary, often hilarious horror flick every time you play.
That's a perfect way to describe it, a storytelling engine. But that kind of spontaneous narrative generation, that didn't just pop up fully formed, right? Betrayal's got a history.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So looking back, that first edition, what were the key things they put in place right at the start?
Well, the original, that was Avalon Hill back in 2004. The designers, Bruce Glasgow, Rob Davio, Mike Selinker, they really laid down the blueprint, this brilliant two-phase thing.
Okay.
First, everyone's working together, exploring this randomly built haunted house, putting down tiles room by room. You never know what's coming.
Right, the exploration phase.
Exactly. And then the pivot, the haunt, the betrayal. That idea that the game just fundamentally changes halfway through. That was, well, pretty revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
Builds all the suspense and then bam, a big twist. Classic horror, really.
And that core idea, it must have been strong, because that first edition eventually led to the second edition in 2010.
Yeah.
What did that one do? Why did it become the version for so long?
Second edition was really about refinement. It smoothed out the rules, made things clearer, and crucially, it made the haunt scenarios easier to understand and, actually play. Some of the first edition ones could be a bit ambiguous.
Okay.
So second edition kind of cemented its legacy, and from there, you really saw them lean into expanding it. Like the Widow's Walk expansion in 2016.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Added a bunch of new rooms, like the roof level, which was cool, and 50 new haunts written by this all-star cast of guest designers. It showed the game could grow, explore new themes.
Totally. And you saw that in the spin-offs too, right? Like Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, taking that D&D flavor. Right, in 2017.
Yeah.
And Betrayal Legacy the year after, which was Rob Davio doing his campaign-style magic.
Yeah.
The game literally evolved as you played through generations. Super innovative.
And wasn't there a Scooby-Doo one?
Yep. Betrayal at Mystery Mansion in 2020. More family-friendly, obviously. But it just shows how flexible that core Betrayal mechanic is.
It really does. It seems like they're always tweaking, improving things. Exactly. Always trying to fix those little quality of life issues, add more themes, keep it fresh for the fans. Which brings us to the third edition in 2022.
Okay, the latest one.
Yeah. More streamlining, new art. But the big thing for a lot of players, those new character boards. Dual dials. Finally got rid of those awful little plastic clips from the second edition that always popped off.
Thank goodness those are the worst.
Tell me about it. Plus, 50 revised haunts, some new ones, narrative prologues, really setting it up for more expansions. But it makes you wonder, how did this translate to, like, the digital world?
That is interesting because people wanted a video game version for ages.
Mm.
The multiplayer potential seems so obvious.
Right. Co-op horror online.
For the longest time, though, the only real option was an unofficial mod for Tabletop Simulator that popped up around 2015.
Ah, the fan-made stuff.
Yeah. And it got huge. Hundreds of thousands of people subscribed. It had the second edition Widow's Walk. Basically automated the setup, let you play with friends anywhere.
But it wasn't until 2023 that we got something official, right? So maybe not the full game people expected.
Correct. They released the Betrayal official app. It's a companion app, works with the physical third edition.
Okay, so not standalone.
Nope, but it's pretty slick. Tracks your stats, items, shows dynamic portraits. It automates the haunt setup, which can save a lot of time and confusion. And it adds, like, ambient music and sound effects.
Ah, so it boosts the immersion of the physical game.
Exactly. You still get the tactile feel, but with some digital help.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no full video game yet, but the interest is definitely still there. The ghost of Betrayal keeps finding new ways to haunt us, digitally or otherwise.
Huh. Good way to put it.
So we've talked about the history, the additions, but let's get into the nuts and bolts. What's it actually like when you sit down to play? those core mechanics that create that horror movie feel. It starts with the exploration phase, right? Everyone's on the same team for now.
Right, cooperative. You pick your explorer. Each one has 4 traits: might, speed, sanity, and knowledge. Physical stats, mental stats. Tracked on those slider boards usually. Pretty simple visual.
And you all start together in the entrance hall, but the house, it builds itself.
Yeah, that's the cool part. When you move through a doorway into an unexplored area, you draw a room tile randomly and place it down. So the layout is totally different every single time you play. Huge source of unpredictability. You literally have no idea what's behind that next door.
And finding new rooms means drawing cards, usually.
Yeah.
Items, events, omens.
Exactly. Items are usually helpful, weapons, tools, that kind of thing. Events are, well, events. Spooky stuff happens, maybe you make a roll, gain or lose a trait point. But the omen cards, those are the crucial ones.
The ticking clock.
Precisely. They build atmosphere, sure, but each omen card found increases the chance of triggering the second phase. Your traits, by the way, are always changing based on cards or rooms, and lots of things require a trait roll.
Okay, explain the trait roll.
Simple enough. You roll a number of special 6-sided dice. They have blanks, 1 pip or 2 picks equal to whatever your trait value is at that moment. Need to make a sanity roll. If your sanity is 4, you roll 4 dice. The total pips determine if you succeed or fail.
Gotcha. And if a trait drops too low?
If it hits the skull symbol on the tracker, your character's out. Could be physical death, could be you just lose your mind completely. Adds real stakes.
Which leads us to the big moment. The haunt roll. The betrayal.
Yep. Every time someone draws an omen card, after resolving it, they have to make the haunt roll. Roll 6 of those special dice. If the result is less than the total number of omen cards collected by the group so far, the haunt begins.
So the longer you explore, the more omens you find, the more likely it becomes. That dread just builds.
It really does. And when it triggers, the game tells you which haunt scenario you're playing based on the omen card and the room it was found in. And crucially, it tells you who the traitor is. Could be the person who triggered it, could be someone else based on, like, having the lowest sanity or something specific to that haunt.
And that's the radical shift you mentioned, the secret sauce.
Totally. Game flips from co-op to one versus all. The traitor grabs the traitor's handbook, goes off somewhere quiet to read their secret goals and rules. The heroes get the survivor's handbook and figure out their side of the story.
That physical separation must add so much tension.
Oh, absolutely. That moment when one player gets up and walks away with that book, everyone else is just staring like, okay, what are they planning? It creates instant paranoia. Hidden info, different goals. It forces you into these roles.
And that's where the replayability comes in, right?
Right.
Because the haunt changes everything.
Completely. New rules often kick in. Combat between players is suddenly a thing. The heroes are trying to achieve their goal, maybe banish the monster, find a hidden artifact, escape the house. The traitor's trying to stop them, maybe hunt them down, complete some dark ritual.
And the win conditions are specific to each side.
Yeah, totally unique for each haunt and for each side within that haunt. The game ends the instant one side achieves its goal. Often comes down to a single climactic dice roll. It feels like the end of a movie. And with 50 different haunts in the base game, plus that random house layout, you could play this dozens of times and never have the same story twice. One night it's a dragon, the next it was like tiny evil dolls.
Okay, so to really get a feel for it, let's talk about some specific haunts. Give us an example, maybe a classic one.
Sure. How about the mummy walks? Haunt number 1 in the 2nd edition, super iconic. It triggers if someone finds the girl omen card in certain rooms, like the catacombs or the abandoned room.
The girl omen.
And it turns out the girl token represents the reincarnated bride of an ancient mummy buried in the house. And whoever found that omen, they become the traitor, now psychically linked to this mummy, basically its servant.
Whoa, okay, so what's the traitor trying to do?
Their goal is pretty grisly. Reunite the mummy monster, which they now control, and it's usually pretty tough. High might, immune to some stuff with the girl token and a specific sacred item like the ring or the holy symbol. Get all 3 into the sarcophagus room, and bam, unholy wedding, traitor wins.
Yikes.
And the heroes, they're scrambling. They need to banish the mummy before the ritual completes. First, find its true name that usually involves a tough knowledge roll in the library or maybe the sarcophagus room itself. Then they need the book item sometimes. It just appears if no one found it earlier to perform a banishment ritual, which is a sanity attack against the mummy.
So it's a race. Research versus the mummy lumbering towards his bride.
Exactly. Creates great tension. Do you split up to search faster but risk getting picked off by the mummy or the traitor? Or stick together and maybe run out of time? It feels just like one of those old Universal monster movies. Classic B-movie fun, but genuinely dense. And if the traitor wins, the girl becomes this undead queen. Super creepy ending.
That definitely captures the vibe. What about something weirder?
Okay, how about A Gathering of Shadows? This one's from the first edition, I think, but it's memorable. It's more metaphysical horror.
Ooh, intriguing.
The premise is that every explorer's shadow detaches from their body, comes to life, and starts hunting them, trying to drag them into darkness. The traitor is the one who caused this, performs some ritual.
Your own shadow hunting you. That's deeply unsettling.
Right. So the heroes are desperately trying to get their shadows back. These shadows stalk them. They can move through walls, ignore obstacles. Super creepy. To banish them, heroes need to perform a ritual of light in certain rooms. Chapel, library, places like that involving trait rolls.
Okay, but what's the twist? There's always a twist.
The twist is the pentagram chamber. If a hero's shadow manages to reach that specific room, that hero instantly becomes a specter. Basically a new traitor controlled by the original traitor.
So you can get multiple traitors in this one.
Yes. Imagine playing, trying to escape your shadow, and suddenly your buddy across the table who was just helping you is now trying to kill you because their shadow got to the spooky room first. It adds this incredible layer of psychological horror and distrust.
Wow, that sounds intense. And the traitor's goal?
Command the shadows, basically. Move them towards the heroes to attack and possess them. If a shadow defeats its hero, that hero turns traitor. Or move the shadows towards the pentagram chamber to create more specters. The traitor wins if everyone's either dead or possessed. It's this constant pressure, this existential dread. Are you going to lose your soul? Are your friends going to turn? Just brilliant, creepy design.
Yeah, those examples really show the range. It's not just monsters chasing you. It can be really weird psychological stuff, too.
Exactly. Classic tropes, bizarre concepts. It covers a lot of ground.
It's obvious Betrayal isn't just about the dice rolls. It's so much about the theme, the atmosphere, that story that just kind of emerges. You mentioned the designers aimed for that B-movie horror feel, right? Not super serious gore, more fun scares.
Absolutely. That B-movie sensibility is key. It lets them play with all those familiar tropes, zombies, vampires, ghosts, werewolves, mummies, creepy dolls, even aliens or dragons, without it becoming genuinely traumatizing. There's often a campy edge, a bit of humor mixed in with the scares.
Which probably helps make it more approachable.
For sure. It keeps it fun. That tone is crucial for the emergent narrative part. Because the story isn't pre-written, it really comes from you guys playing. The random house layout, the cards you draw, they create these weird little connections. Wait, we found the madman in the attic, but the sacred dagger was in the crypt. What does it mean? You fill in the blanks.
You become the storytellers.
Pretty much. People start role-playing, the traitor starts cackling, the heroes are whispering strategies. It really captures that feeling of collaborative storytelling, like a mini role-playing game in a box without needing tons of rules or prep. Someone called it storytelling excitement of role-playing within a box, and that nails it. Every game feels personal, memorable.
And that emotional journey, it's quite a ride. That building suspense during the exploration phase.
Oh, yeah. Every omen draw, every haunt roll, you hold your breath. Is this it? Is this when it goes sideways? The probability increases, the dread builds, and then the reveal. Who's the traitor? What is the hunt? It mirrors that horror movie paranoia perfectly.
And you get those moments of shock, or sometimes just dark humor, like finding out you're the werewolf who's been secretly snacking on the party.
Exactly. It balances the fear with fun. That campy flavor text, some of the wilder haunt premises. It keeps it from getting too dark. It's like you said, Scooby-Doo meets the horror classics. And you can enhance that mood, right? Dim the lights, put on some spooky music, use the app sound effects. It all adds to the immersion.
So the mechanics themselves, the modular board creating a spatial story, the card decks giving random cues, the haunt books with all those micro scenarios, the traitor acting like a mini DM, they all work together to make these stories happen.
Precisely. It's a really clever system for generating unique thematic experiences every time.
Okay, so with all this talk about story and immersion, how did that change when you compare playing the physical board game versus a digital version or using the app? The physical game has that tactile thing going for it.
Definitely. There's something about actually unfolding the tiles, holding the little plastic figures, drawing a real card from a deck, seeing the mansion sprawl across your table. It grounds you in the experience.
And the social dynamic, too. People physically separating to read the traitor rules, the table talk, leaning over the board.
Yeah, the physicality is part of the performance almost,
Yeah.
setting the mood with actual lighting or music. It's a very social, very present experience. Even overcoming the fiddly bits, like those old second edition clips, became part of the shared ritual in a weird way, though the third edition fixing that was a definite plus.
Right. Then on the digital side, like Tabletop Simulator or the official app, you get convenience.
Huge convenience. Setup is instant. Rules are enforced automatically. No arguments about line of sight or forgetting a weird haunt rule, tracking stats, items, dice rolls. It's all handled. It speeds things up, lowers the barrier to entry, especially for complex haunts.
And it lets you play with people anywhere, right?
What's a massive advantage? Play with friends across the country or the world. Removes the need to physically gather. Plus, the app adds those atmospheric enhancements like music and sound effects easily.
But there are trade-offs. Does it lose something?
Maybe a little. Digital enforces rules strictly, no house rules. And while voice chat is great, it's not quite the same as being around a table, feeling that shared anticipation when someone picks up the dice for a crucial roll. It can sometimes feel a bit more sterile in those moments.
So it's a different flavor of the same core experience.
I'd say so. Whether you love the feel of the cardboard and plastic or the ease of digital automation, the heart of the game, that cooperative exploration followed by sudden betrayal and emergent storytelling that remains compelling either way. It really depends on what you value most in the experience.
So when you boil it all down, Betrayal at House on the Hill is just this amazing engine for creating stories. Emergent narrative at its finest, proving that sometimes the best tales are the ones you and your friends stumble into together, full of twists, scares, and usually a good few laughs along the way.
It really is. It shows how smart game design can create these deeply personal, memorable moments that go way beyond just mechanics. It's got that perfect B-movie fun, but with moments of real tension. It just sticks with you.
It's one of those games where winning feels secondary sometimes. It's more about, do you remember that time when the story itself is the real reward?
Totally agree.
Which makes you think. Imagine if more stories were like this, truly interactive, where every little choice, every random event could send you down a completely different path. Scary, funny, bizarre. What could that mean for entertainment in the future? Something to chew on.
Interesting thought.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the creaking corridors of Betrayal at House on the Hill. We hope you had as much fun exploring it as we did. If you enjoyed this, definitely hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, maybe check out any affiliate links if you want to grab a copy of the game, and let us know in the comments what other games or topics you'd love us to unpack.
Yeah, let us know.
Stay tuned for our next deep dive, where we'll tackle another fascinating subject. Thanks for listening.